Danzo Shimura is one of the most universally hated characters in all of Naruto. I'm certain you would find more fans for Kaguya out there than Danzo, and for good reason. The guy was an absolute asshat. You know how we always talk about how Hiruzen was a bad Hokage because he never did anything and never stopped bad things from happening? Well, for the most part, Danzo was the one who did those bad things. So to say that Hiruzen was the sole cause of the issues in this series is unfair. It was a team effort. Bring it in, guys. Here's to another generation of lives ruined because of sabotage and the inability to possess a spine.
Welcome to the Amagi. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Also, we just released some brand new merch. If you'd like to show your support for the channel even further while at the same time repping stylish clothing, be sure to check that out as well. The store is linked below. YouTube's been unsubscribing users from channels lately, so if you're a fan of us, please do us a favor and double check to see if you're still subscribed. It only takes a second and it helps us a ton here at Amagi. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
So today I want to experiment with something a little. I want to see what would happen should Danzo never have appeared in the series. What if he were never born? I know that's a rather dark phrase to use, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to write him out of the story just to see if stuff takes a turn for the worse or a turn for the better. Danzo would have you believe that the world couldn't function without him, so let's just see how true that really is. Originally, Danzo was a rival to everything Hiruzen did, which means Danzo may have been able to take some credit as to how strong Hiruzen became. But this can be disputed as he was not originally on Hiruzen's team like the other council members, and thus had no direct contact with Hiruzen except for on special missions. That is on top of the fact that Hiruzen studied under both Tobirama Senju and his elder brother, the founding Hokage Hashirama, which is likely a good part of the power that Hiruzen gained. So to say that Danzo was required for Hiruzen to grow as strong as he was is an exaggeration. Hiruzen would remain the professor with or without Danzo's influence. Furthermore, when Tobirama offered to die for his team, Danzo never said anything, unlike Hiruzen who offered to play the distraction himself. However, even if Danzo had decided to do this, nothing would have changed, as Tobirama still would have chosen to die for his team, and would have still chosen Hiruzen to be the next Hokage. Now for something that wouldn't have happened, that would be the formation of Root. This would have some effects in and of itself. First off, they would never be able to create Nue, which was used to nearly destroy Konoha in the Boruto series. Yamato likely would have never been created either. No Wood Boy, just regular boy. He would have never sent a message to Hanzo of Amagakure, which means that the Akatsuki likely would not have been targeted and killed. This further means that Nagato, Yahiko, and Konin would not have fallen to darkness, or at least not in the same way. It was during this war that Danzo had attempted to disrupt peace relations by disguising his men as Iwagakure ninja to raid villages near Ame to force them to continue the war in hopes of strengthening Konoha. So had he not been born, the Second Shinobi World War possibly would have ended far sooner, preserving the lives of thousands. While it is true that he sent spies, such as Kabuto and Nono, to Iwagakure to learn things about Iwa's plans to attack Konoha, it doesn't mean that he had anything to do with stopping it. In fact, he attempted to sabotage the negotiations to force a war to strengthen Konoha. Danzo was a true warmonger. He also commissioned Orochimaru's experiments, such as the ones that created Yamato, or the ones that resulted in many people going missing, which eventually led Hiruzen to Orochimaru's doorstep. Danzo was behind that. This isn't saying in any way that Orochimaru would have never turned evil without Danzo. He definitely would. He just wouldn't have gotten away with it for so long or caused quite as much mayhem. In this way though, Danzo also created Kabuto, who Orochimaru would later take under his wing. You know the guy who made Ito Tensei for the Akatsuki? The guy who brought Madara back to life? Yeah, that wouldn't have happened had Danzo not existed. During the Nine Tails attack on Konoha, it was Danzo who said that the Uchiha couldn't help. Had he not been there, Hiruzen would not have barred the Uchiha from helping, meaning that the moment Minato defeats Tobi and severs his connection to the Nine Tails, the battle ends. This means that Minato survives, as does Kushina more than likely. I guess when you really think about it, that means that Naruto is an orphan because of Danzo. This also means that Kakashi is never recruited to kill Hiruzen either. The Uchiha are never moved, and there's never the threat of an uprising by the Uchiha. Itachi's never recruited early to join the Anbu. I don't know if you knew this, but Itachi wasn't old enough to join the Anbu, and Danzo had them fudge the numbers a little to make Itachi old enough to join. That wouldn't have happened, meaning it's entirely possible that Itachi doesn't even join the Anbu. Shisui's plan to cast Koto Amatsukami on the Uchiha was actually a good plan that was approved by Hiruzen and the council, who believed it was a viable solution to stop the Uchiha from doing anything they might regret. However, Danzo hated this idea, and so he decided to steal Shisui's eye, which led to the latter's suicide. He then pinned it all on Itachi, which gave him a bad name. And further still, he threatened Sasuke's life and forced Itachi to kill his own clan, something that Hiruzen found detestable. He would put Danzo under house arrest and disband Root officially, but you can't keep a good war criminal down. Danzo eventually reestablishes Root secretly and continues to use them for his own goals. It was even believed that Orochimaru and the Akatsuki were inspired to attack Konoha and kill Hiruzen under the orders of Danzo. Whether this is true or not is never confirmed, but it certainly seems to be in his character, as Danzo later commands the Anbu to not fight against Pain when he came to the village in an effort to either embarrass Tsunade and get her removed, or even have her killed. His own men even challenged this, stating that it would cause a lot of villagers to die, but Danzo responded by telling them that Tsunade would simply heal those who were dying, meaning very few people would actually perish. It was also Danzo's attempt to use Koto Amatsukami on the other Kage at the summit that caused all of Konoha to lose favor in the sight of the other villages, resulting in the choosing of the Raikage as the leader of the forces. These were all the big actions taken by Danzo during his time in the series. So what happens next? Well, let's take a peek. First off, the Second Shinobi World War ends far more quickly and more peacefully, and the Akatsuki are never formed into a terrorist group. While the Third Shinobi World War would happen, and later on a war with Iwa is possible, these don't really change much in the grand scheme of things, and everything truly big occurs later. On October 10th, during the night, Kushina Uzumaki goes into labor and is rushed to a secret location under heavy guard. As she gives birth, Minato stays by her to keep the tailed beast sealed in. A healthy baby boy is born and presented to the mother, but things don't go all easy peasy. The mysterious masked man named Tobi appears, and yes, this still happens. Danzo has nothing to do with Madara or Obito's downfall, and by this time, I don't think Tobi was even in the Akatsuki yet. This was a crime of opportunity as opposed to a coordinated attack. Minato chooses to rescue Naruto instead of Kushina, meaning Kushina gets taken. Minato witnesses the deaths of everyone in the room, including Biwako Sarutobi, Hiruzen's wife. Utilizing his flying Raijin technique, he brings the child home and tenderly tucks it into bed to await his mother. He then uses his flying Raijin to get to Kushina, who possesses the formula within her 8 trigram seal. However, before he gets there, Tobi removes the Nine Tails from her body. This results in her beginning the process of dying due to the Nine Tails being required to sustain his Jinchuriki's life. However, she is an exceptionally strong Uzumaki, so she survives for a time. Minato brings her back to their home and lays her in bed beside Naruto. He then goes out to find the masked man to kill him. Eventually finding him, the two engage in a rather short battle in which Minato is successful in breaking the bond he had with the Nine Tails, as well as shattering the man's arm and stabbing him in the stomach, outspeeding his Kamui. Tobi would retreat, leaving Minato alone. Elsewhere in the village, Hiruzen is leading the forces against the Nine Tails. Due to Danzo not appearing here, nobody ever really bars the Uchiha from helping. While the Sharingan's presence in the Eye of the Nine Tails is curious, it's not enough to implicate them as the only ones responsible. Then, when the beast is freed from Tobi's control, the Uchiha move into action and cast it under Genjutsu to subdue it. Soon thereafter, Minato finds them and teleports the pacified beast back to their village along with other skilled Fuinjutsu practitioners, possibly Hiruzen himself, who would begin the process of restoring the Nine Tails to Kushina instead of putting it into Naruto, saving her life. While their house is destroyed, Minato, Kushina, and Naruto are all safe, and Minato gets to continue his tenure as the Hokage, meaning Hiruzen can kick up his feet and enjoy a nice iced tea on the beach somewhere. Of course, after he mourns for his wife. We can't forget that. But after that, iced teas and beach trips all day long. Kakashi no longer has to shoulder guilt from this, and we see an uptick in his mood. Now, while the Akatsuki don't turn evil, Obito will eventually need a group with which to help him seal the Nine Tails into the Geto statue. And so he starts his own group known as Nichibotsu. I don't know, maybe they wear blue clouds. They're just a ripoff of the Akatsuki. To Obito, it doesn't matter. He just needs a group of people. This likely means he fills his ranks with the same people save for Itachi and the Ame orphans, though they will eventually become targets due to Nagato possessing the only thing that can fulfill his plans. I could even see the Akatsuki getting Jiraiya to join them as they help him hunt down the Nichibotsu. This would be nice. The whole team is back together again. Eventually, Orochimaru does show himself, and Minato would no doubt kill him. Minato has no sentimental connection to Orochimaru, so if he catches him in the act of killing people for their organs, you can bet your money that he would take him out. But this isn't the only thing that happens during the time before the main series. Due to the Uchiha being given the benefit of the doubt and the fact that Danzo and Root aren't trying to push things to a head, the Uchiha are never moved, and so a coup is not immediately an issue. For some fun, we'll say that a coup is still planned, for now. The Hyuga affair probably still happens, but likely not on Hinata's birthday due to Root not being there to spy on Iwa. I would say it's possible that Konoha and Iwagakure go to war, but I find it doubtful. My reasoning for this is that it's Danzo's intentions to force Konoha into needless wars for the sake of strengthening the village, so if he had a choice to let them go to war with Iwa, he would have. But they didn't, so more than likely he wasn't needed to keep the war from reaching a head. Now, as for the Hyuga affair, it's entirely possible that it doesn't happen. However, if it does, Konoha doesn't need to give in to Iwa as Minato is here, and Iwa surely would not be willing to go up against this village, meaning Neji's father likely doesn't have to be sacrificed for the sake of the village. This should alter Neji a bit and change his view on things. He may resent the main branch a bit, but he wouldn't be outright bitter. In fact, if Hisashi gets to the point of choosing to die for his brother before Minato shuts them down, it might even change Hiyashi's view on oppressing the secondary branch, and may even allow the side branch to chase their own dreams. Maybe they still receive a curse mark somewhere on their bodies. Perhaps Hiyashi enforces it for all Hyuga besides the branch family. Who knows? But I can't help but feel that the Hyuga clan would be a bit less dysfunctional. Moving on, if the Uchiha clan does decide to hold a coup, and this is reported by Itachi and Shisui along with a submission for how to deal with it, I feel like Minato would approve. I mean, he would hate the idea of tricking an entire clan into agreeing with him, but it's better than the alternative. And this is only if Minato can't outright stop it. This means Shisui would likely attend one of the meetings alongside Itachi and would cast Kodo Amatsukami on the entire group and force them off the path of the coup. This leads to the Uchiha becoming the most loyal clan in the village out of all of the clans. Sasuke would grow up beside Itachi and Shisui, both of whom would be willing to teach him and help him reach a point where he can impress his father. Furthermore, without Danzo, if they do decide to do experiments on Hashirama Senju's cells, it wouldn't be quite as secret, as they would do it the right way. This likely means that they could even use it to find the cure to many diseases, likely even curing Itachi of whatever sickness he developed. People who get this vaccine seem to start living a lot longer, and those with Mangekyo Sharingan find themselves capable of using the ability without strain. Those missing limbs get brand new prosthetics that are as good if not better than the original. The secrets to wood release may even be discovered through extended testing. Naruto grows up alongside his parents and receives plenty of tender love and care, as well as plenty of training to round out the raw potential that nobody saw in the original timeline. Kushina likely would receive some backlash due to the Ninetales' assault, but when Minato sticks up for her and explains everything, things quickly go back to normal. And so we see our heroes enter the academy. Naruto and Sasuke enter the academy as usual, but the difference is that both excel instead of just one. And since Sasuke isn't self-taught, he has more proficiency in many other jutsu and technique types. His mental state changes as well. He's less dark and brooding and more laid back and nice. Both Naruto and Sasuke are considered the heartthrobs of the class, with Sakura caught somewhere in the middle. Due to his proper training, Naruto is no longer held back and graduates with the rest of the class on time. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are all put on the same team, which has Sakura on cloud 9 as she's surrounded by her two crushes. They would still be assigned Kakashi, except this is far more straightforward. Minato personally requesting him to teach Naruto. Kakashi can't say no to his mentor, and so he takes him up on it. When he introduces himself, he asks what their dreams and aspirations are. Naruto states that it's his dream to become the Hokage, while Sasuke states that he wants to become the head of the Konoha police force, all while Sakura can't decide between which of her crushes she wants to marry most, so she says she just hopes to become someone's wife someday. Cringe Sakura as per freaking usual. Still, he gives them the bell test. Now this goes a little differently, but not by much. Naruto is still sure of himself and proud, as is Sasuke, both of whom try to outdo the other all while Sakura watches. But the more they fail, the more they come to realize that the only way to pass is together. And so all three set plans into motion to get the bells. Of course, they fail not once, twice, or even 3 times, but 4. And then when the time comes to an end, they still have not retrieved the bells, but Kakashi passes them anyway as the goal of the test to see when or even if they would decide to become a team. So Team 7 is formed and they begin their duties, which for a fresh team consists of nothing but basically being bag boy for the supermarket. Not exactly the life Naruto and Sasuke were training for, huh? But fear not, Minato has a mission. The Land of Waves. Danzo never had anything to do with Gato or Kirigakure, so there is no reason why this mission doesn't happen, as all involved parties are still involved. The difference is that when the Demon Brothers attack, Naruto and Sasuke remain on point and just obliterate them, which puts them in good standing with Kakashi, who recognizes the Demon Brothers as rogue Chunin. Continuing on, they're stopped by Zabuza, who Kakashi decides to take alone, but fails. I highly doubt that this fight changes, as Sasuke and Naruto would likely either get the same outcome or come deadly close to just kicking his ass outright. Remember, by this time, Sasuke likely has the Sharingan. You don't have to awaken them from loss, but any emotion that fuels determination, as Madara awakened his from declaring that he would kill Hashirama. One could argue that he awakened them from the idea of having to kill his best friend, but I digress. If Sasuke has them awakened by now, and he might, he could easily use them in battle, which would boost his speed and reaction time. Haku, more than likely, is forced to fake Zabuza's death, allowing the others to escape. They would make their way to the home of Tazuna, and Kakashi likely still needs rest, because there is no reason why he'd be any stronger than he normally was. You know what does change though? The whole mini training arc. That doesn't happen, nor does it need to, because it's doubtful that Naruto and Sasuke can't already control their chakra. In fact, I'm tempted to say that Naruto possibly already knows Rasengan. Due to the training they likely got from their parents and teachers, they might already be in a Chunin exam level physical state. So that means that when they end up on the bridge and Sasuke and Naruto are caught in Haku's trap, Naruto and Sasuke are likely about as strong as Haku is, meaning that they can probably dodge his techniques easily and maybe even break through it with concentrated effort. The result is the same though. Haku and Zabuza die, though Naruto and Sasuke don't end up injured in any way. I'm tempted to go for a happy ending, but I want to be truthful. Inari and Tsunami are likely captured, and because of this, no villagers show up to help because Inari was the one to rally the troops. But that doesn't happen now, and Kakashi himself in this arc admits that they have no way to deal with the situation by themselves. So this likely means that Inari, Tsunami, and Tazuna are all killed as an example to the other bridge builders of what happens if they stand up to Gato. Sasuke and Naruto really hate that, and the sight of it, and knowledge of their own failure, causes them to likely cry in frustration as they go home, knowing that they failed their mission and innocent people died, and it couldn't be stopped. Sasuke probably develops his second Tomoe Sharingan by this point, and that's only if he's awakened it. If he hadn't awakened his Sharingan before, he would have now. Still, Kakashi is impressed by his team, and so when the Chunin exams roll around, Kakashi volunteers them to join it, which spurs Asuma and Kurenai to do the same thing with their teams. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura go to join, Rock Lee would show up and challenge Naruto to a spar. He wishes to test himself against the Hokage's son. Naruto accepts. Together the two fight, and Naruto proves to be the stronger of the two, but Lee begins opening gates, going deeper and deeper into it, and begins to overwhelm Naruto. By this time, Might Guy shows up to knock some sense into Lee because the boy's in like the 5th gate by now. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura elect to ignore them and go to sign up. The first test is a test of guts, disguised as a test of intelligence. Of course, on the intelligence part, Sasuke and Sakura bust it. Naruto has a harder time, but still manages to at least answer a few of the questions correctly. He also attempts to cheat off the Hyugas when he learns that the point of it is cheating. Once he has that, he's set. Now, as for the final question, Naruto and his teams take it no sweat. None of their dreams really require them to make Chunin, but even still, their confidence is so great that even if they did require it, they might just do it anyway. So they no doubt pass. Now, as for the second test in the Forest of Death, they're given a Heaven Scroll and told to search for a team with the Earth Scroll, and take it to the arena in the center to pass. Given Sasuke's Sharingan, their team actually breaks the record and beats even the Sand siblings. As for the final test, the Exhibitions, everything mostly goes the same. Naruto beats Kiba, albeit with a little more ability than before. Sasuke doesn't possess the curse mark right now, so there's nothing stopping him from using his chakra, and he defeats his opponent too. Hinata and Neji are forced to fight. Neji gives her the honor of not holding back, but at the same time he doesn't brutalize her and is sure to leave her with honor. They get a month off to train, and during this time, Jiraiya actually returns to the village with Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan. Minato convinces them to train Naruto, which they gladly do. Naruto learns all sorts of new jutsu, but the first thing he learns is Sage Mode. Sasuke would train with Kakashi and learn Chidori, but furthermore, he trains with Itachi and Shisui and picks up some of their moves as well. When the exams continue, Naruto and Sasuke both defeat their opponents. The Sand siblings flee, much to the embarrassment of their father, Rasa. Naruto manages to beat Neji as well, and when Naruto and Sasuke face off, Naruto wins, taking the victory by a hair using Sage Mode. The entirety of Team 7 are named Chunin. Now, because Orochimaru is already dead and Minato and Hiruzen are both alive, there's no need to search for Tsunade. And because Sasuke never leaves the village, the Sasuke recovery arc doesn't happen. Team 7 remains together the entire time. So the time skip would likely still happen because nothing overly interesting with the Akatsuki happened at the time. Mostly, we just see Team 7 training and completing missions as the Chunin they are. Now, still, Tobi's Nichibotsu would still attempt to take Gaara and remove his tailed beast, so Team 7 is sent to stop this, possibly with backup like Itachi and Shisui or the Ame orphans. Because of this, they more than likely get to Gaara before they can kill him and rescue him. This likely results in the deaths of both Sasori and Deidara, because let's be real, if Itachi and Shisui or Nagato shows up, they've got about as much of a chance as a fart in the wind. So they rescue Gaara. They would report back to Minato about the Nichibotsu and their actions, and Minato would begin hunting them down. He would send Jiraiya and the Akatsuki to help, which possibly means that Asuma doesn't die, but instead survives while both Hidan and Kakuzu are defeated. Slowly but surely, they're whittling down the Nichibotsu, removing their ability to fight, setting them back quite a way. I can tell you for certain that Pain's assault does not happen, because currently, Pain is on our side. So at this moment, the only Nichibotsu members left are Tobi and Kisame, and I don't think they're enough. So as it stands, they have two options. They can either try to take Nagato's Rinnegan now, or they can wait and try to gain more strength. In the case that they try to take the Rinnegan, there's about equal chance that they succeed or fail. If they fail, oh well, series over. If not, then we have ourselves a bit more of a story. On the off chance that they decide to wait, they may not get a chance to later. Now, if they do get the Rinnegan, they still need to take the tailed beasts, which might not be as easy as they think, especially since Minato now knows that Jinchuriki are under attack. He's not about to let Kushina go unattended. If Obito and Kisame attack the Leaf, there's not much chance they can win. Our heroes are far stronger now and they're unified, so if he sends the 6 paths in, they just get obliterated. Obito would have to come in himself since he has access to Kamui, but if Kakashi catches on, which he probably would, his Kamui becomes useless and he gets ganged up on by all the strongest. So what happens if he waits? Well, he waits for a long time, probably becoming a Boruto event. Even then, he would be far older than the others, and Nagato's an Uzumaki, so he's going to retain his youth for longer. One could argue for Hashirama Senju's cells making up half of Obito's body, but even still, there are others besides Nagato. Toneri would get smashed, Momoshiki probably also gets smashed, and Ishiki, well, that's a bit closer. That is, unless Koto Amatsukami works on him, in which he doesn't get smashed, he just peacefully dies of old age 3 days after attacking. Or so says me. But what do you think? Personally, if Danzo never existed, the series would have taken a different turn. Naruto's villains may not have been working together, but certainly were there and attempting to capitalize off of each other. Just like we require a delicate set of events to ensure that our heroes end up with the proper tools to win, the same can be said of the villains, and Danzo's removal actually throws things into Konoha's favor. Turns out he was making the Leaf weaker instead. But what do you think? Leave a comment and tell me down below.
Did you enjoy our video? Well, then be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.